How about that win last night? I mean, it basically did extend into the, obviously not really. It was a late afternoon, but you know what I mean. Pretty long game, pretty long broadcast. It started under a little bit of a rain delay, some weather yesterday in the state of Michigan. So a little bit of a later start. We got going, and several different stops in the game. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this before. The game stopped several times, and it wasn't just the weather. It wasn't just the weather. We had a little bit of everything in this one. The Tigers were scoring runs. The Royals were scoring runs. And then the home plate umpire had the runs. Yeah, several of the breaks that we had in this game, it was where the home plate umpire had to run to the dugout. What pretty much everybody's speculating, he's got to have some sort of stomach virus or something. He must have had some bad enchiladas before this game. Because, it was, nothing was staying down, evidently. So a weird start again, stop again game. But this is going to be the Tigers' best win of the season so far. They're now over 500, 10-9. Hopefully that's the last time that we have to have them be at 500. Hopefully they can just continue to win games, continue to rack up the wins, and stay over 500 the rest of the season. But, wow, I'm going to say return of the gritty Tigs, the gritty Tigs that we've come to love the last two seasons, gritting out these tough late rallies and wins. What a game this was. So early on, I had a prediction. The first two games of this series were both 2-1 in favor of the Tigers. So I had a feeling like, okay, we're probably going to get a case of that today. And it looked for a little bit that that's what was going to be the case. The Tigers strike first in the second inning after a one-out walk for Riley Green. And then Matt Vierling with a fielder's choice he gets on. So 2 outs, 1 on. Spencer Torkelson double down the left field line, scoring Matt Vierling. Puts the Tigers on 1-0. And then fourth inning, the Royals strike. They get their first run. Bibby Watt, a.k.a. Bobby Witt Jr., on third with 2 outs. And then a Carter Jensen single scoring him, so it's tied at 1. Meanwhile, bottom of the fourth inning, this gave us our 2-1 score on a Dylan Dingler. This guy's been raking lately. Dylan Dingler double, Riley Green single, but then a Dylan Dingler out at home. We've seen a lot of these this series. Jack Caglione, he's got an arm. He has saved several runs this series from the Tigers because of his defensive abilities. So Dylan Dingler out at home, but then Matt Vierling single able to score Riley Green. So there you go, 2-1. And I thought, I was like, okay, here we go. But then the Tigers go off. Fifth inning, they score 4 runs. After a Wencel Perez fly-out, you have a Javi Baez walk. You have a 1-run double from Gleyber Torres. You have a fly-out from McGonigal that does advance Gleyber Torres to third. So runner on third with 2 outs. You got a Jahmai Jones 1-run single. And then Dylan hits dingers. Dylan Dingler with the home run. 2-run shot. There's your 4-run inning. So here we go. All right, 6-1. Great spot for the Tigers. They've already won the first 2 games of the series. Looking to guide this home for the sweep. But then this is when stuff gets a little bit sketchy, if you will. So we had Keider Montero on the mound for this one. He pitched great for the first 6 innings, but things started to get a little bit shaky for him in the 7th inning. So the 6th inning, a sacrifice fly to get the second run, so it's 6-2 at this point. But then the top of the 7th inning, you had a double and a 1-run single And then Drew Anderson came in, but I mentioned, not really sold on him quite yet. I mean, he has been pitching. Last few outings have been pretty solid, but overall I've not really been impressed with his stuff in the bullpen. One of the weaker links in the bullpen. As a matter of fact, we got a walk, we got a sacrifice bunt, couple of singles, and then a Salvador Perez home run, a 3-run shot to cap off a 6-run seventh inning. So just like that, the Tigers are down 8-6 after being ahead 6-1 and then even 6-2 going into that inning. So it's like, holy cow, what's going on here? Tigers do recover with 1 run in the 7th inning after a Kevin McGonigal triple. This guy's just raking. This guy's a machine. And then a sac fly from Kerry Carpenter to bring him home, brings the Tigers within 1. Then we get the insurance run in the 9th with a Vinny Pasquantino solo home run, his first home run of the season. And then here we go, bottom of the 9th, rally time for the Gritty Tigers. All starts off with a couple of base runners. What have I been saying time and time again? You get a couple of early base runners before you get any outs. That's going to put pressure on any pitcher with, in this case, Lucas Erceg coming in for the save. He's already got 5 saves on the season. Gleyber Torres single, Kevin McGonigal walk. So it's like, all right, here we go. Kerry Carpenter strikes out, and then Dylan Dingler, a line out straight to Jonathan India, which nearly was turned for a double play because Gleyber Torres, he started running off second initially, thinking that was going to get to the outfield. But he had to quickly get back. That was nearly a game-ending double play, but instead just the second out, runners on first and second. And then here we go, Riley Green. By the way, 3-2 count. The Tigers on a 2-strike count with 2 outs. This was their last strike of the game. Riley Green with a big one, double that scores 2 runs. So this ties the game. So at the minimum, the Tigers have at least forced extra innings. But then Colt Keith, another guy who's had a phenomenal start to the season. I'm just going to let Jason Benetti take care of this one.
Colt Keith's got the bat now. Right side, base hit. Green around third. Caglione as a cannon. The throw, not in time. It was well worth the wait. 10-9, your final.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable call. Unbelievable game for the Tigers. We had a little bit of everything, of course. I mean, I already said that a few times now, but the Royals had their moments, the Tigers had their moments, but to grit that one out, our first taste of the Gritty Tigers this season. Coming in the bottom of the 9th, another rally, and the Tigers are red hot right now. I knew I wasn't too concerned after separate 4- and 5-game losing streaks to start the season, but man, it's all about the home cooking for the Tigers. They've struggled on the road, but just 1 loss at home so far. The Tigers are 8-1 at home and back-to-back sweeps, 6-game winning streak. They've swept the Marlins. They've now swept the Royals. And as I mentioned, the Tigers are back over 500. Hopefully, for the final time this season, hopefully we see the Tigers continuing to rack up the wins and stay above 500 the rest of the year. But big 4-game series coming up against the Red Sox. That starts this evening, 7:15. So we'll see. The Tigers, again, they've been struggling on the road this season. Need to find a way to turn it around here in this series. And I think they got a good opportunity to in this series. The Red Sox off to a little bit of a slow start, 7-11 towards the bottom of the American League standings. And they've already lost a couple series so far. I mean, they've won a couple as well. Opened the series losing 2 of 3 to the Reds, swept by the Astros, lost 2 of 3 to the Padres. They then won back-to-back series, 2-1 to the Brewers and the Cardinals, and then they lost their last series to the Minnesota Twins, 2-1. So a little bit of an uneven start. So I think a good opportunity for the Tigers to strike here, try to rack up some of these wins on the road. So we've got Casey Mize, it looks like, on the mound tonight, and he's going to be opposed by Ranger Suarez, who is one of the bigger free agent pitchers available on the market this offseason. Big pickup for the Red Sox, but early returns been a little bit mixed from him so far. 8 earned runs in 14 and a third innings for a 5.02 earned run average, 147 whip. So he's had a rough 3 first starts for his Red Sox tenure. Tomorrow we got Scooble on the mound, and he's going to be opposed by Brian Bello for the Red Sox. And then it at least projects as of right now for Framber Valdez and Garrett Crochet, which I know A.J. Hinch said he was going to try to spread out Valdez and Scooble, so that could change. Maybe even have Valdez pushed to Monday and then have potentially Jack Flaherty moved up. I doubt it. I doubt they would move him up, but maybe we'll have a bullpen game that day. Who knows? We'll see if that is how A.J. Hinch is going to attack this. But Valdez, it's lining up to have him and Garrett Crochet on Sunday, who Garrett Crochet has been shelled this season. He's had a phenomenal first 4-5 seasons of his young career, but he's not been good this season so far. 10 earned runs in just 5 outs, 1 2/3 innings in his last start against the Minnesota Twins. So he's been a little bit shaky out of the gate so far. Last but not least, Monday, which again, no show for On the Docket, no show on Monday because of this game, the final game of the 4-game series with the Tigers and Red Sox. That one, as of right now, is projecting to be Jack Flaherty against Sonny Gray. So, again, Tigers, they got the home cooking going, especially with the deep outfield walls at Comerica Park, which, by the way, is not going to be Comerica Park for much longer. I saw towards the end of the season, I believe October, November-ish, they were officially going to rename the ballpark. I know a couple months ago they had that news that I think Fifth Third Bank or something had bought out Comerica Bank. So as a result, as of right now, it's still Comerica Park, but I don't know if it's going to go to Fifth Third or if they're just going to go with another naming sponsor, but that's besides the point. A little bit off track, but anyways. And these have been fences that have been moved in. Of course, way back in the day when Comerica Park first opened, had just so deep outfield walls that they actually put the bullpens in left field to try to move that fence in a little bit because nobody was hitting home runs. But we're seeing that a little bit here this season for the Tigers in general, especially at Comerica Park. A little bit of a dead ball start to the season for the Tigers, if you will. Not very many home runs there. In the bottom 4, I think, going into yesterday's games, bottom 4 in the major leagues in hitting home runs, and they have also allowed the fewest home runs in Major League Baseball. So the Tigers have been getting the job done inside the fence, and we'll see if they get hot start hitting some more home runs. They've been close. I think the Tigers, I saw a miscellaneous stat the other day, the Tigers actually lead the major leagues in pretty much home run distance balls that did not actually end up being home runs. Your 370 plus. Obviously, it depends on what spot in the ballpark you hit it, which ballpark you hit it in. But the Tigers so far, they've been close, but no cigar. A lot of warning track shots for the Tigers this season, but hopefully that turns around at some point for the bats. Get some more over the fence, and hopefully the Tigers pitching staff, they keep that up. They keep limiting the damage over the fence. That's a good trend, but not a good trend for the bats. But hey, Tigers are getting it done. 6-game winning streak, starting a 4-gamer tonight against the Boston Red Sox on the road. Again, first pitch for that one is at 7:15 right here on Jackson's Fox Sports 101.9 FM.
If you missed today's installment of On the Docket, podcast it at foxsports1019.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to tune in live weekdays at noon on Jackson's Fox Sports 101.9 FM.